Hello, it's Mark Miller here. I'm going to talk about the object-oriented box design of the invention, ability, and habit improving technology that enables you to interpret your life very effectively. In fact, as effectively, I humbly say, as any doctor, a psychotherapist on planet Earth. You will be able to interpret it because you're doing it simple and you're using cycles, which are also simple, to understand what's causing things to happen and how do I look deeper and understand it so that then I can change it. Here we go. Let's take a look. All right, so the base level with need and desire, where you have your object oriented box divided into two threes, where you have need, how it affects yourself, your relationship with people, and your financial situation, right? Well, that's need. Well, then you have desire. What do you desire, and how does that affect yourself, your relationships with people, and your financial circumstance? So this base box of two sets of three form the effective display of the necessary principles for you to understand life and then change it. So when we balance need with desire, we see how what we want from both, right? One is to be free from pain. The other one is to be happy and thrive. One is to be safe and feel free from pain when you're around people. The other one is to be safe and free from pain relative to your financial reality. Well, this is happy about yourself, happy when you're with people, and happy about your financial reality. See how these are the objectives of your brain to be healthy and happy. It gets you moving in the right direction. How do you expand on it and understand the next step? You go to the second level. First of all, we pick an area of life. Now, this has self and spirit. I'm going to use body as an example rather than spirit, although we could talk about that as well. And then need and desire, survive and thrive. So let's say that there's a need where the top three, instead of being the results of yourself, your relationship with people, and money, all of a sudden you become aware of what you desire. You become aware that you want physical health, right? And it's in the area of life which is your body, right? So you're aware. You want to learn about and become aware of your body so you can become healthy. Then you want to create it. You believe you can create the health that you're imagining with your imagination and seeing the simple things you have to do, the task you need to do. Now, they're not stated in this small box with 10 words. I didn't count it, by the way. But this word implies that when you're using this technology and you read this paragraph about create, and there's a phrase, I am moving my thoughts effectively through time to thrive and take care of my body, right? And then I am appreciating the fact that I'm taking care of my body. Right? Those words aren't there, but that's what these three boxes do: aware, create, appreciate relative to physical health, right? So now before we go over here, we know we're in the self area of life and we're talking about our body. So now we go to the next page. I don't know if that made enough anyway. You can see that I pasted it and it got stretched out. So here's the macro view of life, right? Time and space, objects moving around in time and space. How does this affect me? There's a fundamental thing. That's the first one, right? Your life is happening in time and space. You can see all the stuff moving around. How's that affecting me, right? The next thing is you engage time and space. What do? I am moving in time and space, right? it's causing an effect on me. So you're here, but you're here. Now, I'm out there in time and space, moving around in the cause and effect cycles. It's causing an effect on me. How does it affect me? Right? 1, 2, 3. Perceive time and space. Interpret the objects moving around in cause and effect. Realize how it's affecting me. Now, right? You perceived that you're not healthy. Your body's overweight and you have disease, right? You're an unhappy puppy, right? So you perceived, interpreted that, and realized it, right? Sorry for the distraction. All right, so then you become curious about what you want. I mean, hey, I want to be healthy. I want to feel great. How do I do that? What do I got to do? Your thoughts, then you move around with curiosity to effectively find the information that you want. And when you do that, my friend, try not to miss out on the very logical, simple, and incredibly powerful habit. Oh, yeah, I'm glad I did it. Appreciate every opportunity you have in your life, because appreciation is what causes happiness. If you're doing amazing in your life, but you never stop and realize how amazing you're doing, you could die in a car accident and never realize how amazing you are and how amazing you've been for everybody in your life. You have to take a moment and have your thoughts go, I interpret it. I realize things are nice. Powerful 3, huh? Now we take on the active role of engaging time and space. I am aware of what exists right now, and I'm aware of what options are there for me. Think of the high performance scale and the ability scale, right? You remember that display where you've identified a level of being that you don't possess. You don't think and move that way. You don't move your thoughts or your body or your emotions that way in this experience. And thus the quality of your life in this experience of your life is not as good. But you have a presentation of that higher level, right? So what happens? Let me go. So you're aware of what you want and relative to what exists, and then you compare it with what you want. What does it look like? What are the results that am looking to create relative to what exists? So you go aware and you create, you choose to start moving around effectively to create what you want. And then you appreciate every step along the journey of life. Now, here's one of the ones that becomes most relevant in your life. Actually, the bottom is more relevant than the top. The top explains what's happening, although you do want to engage, perceive, interpret, and realize, and curious, effective, and appreciate. But what you'll use more often is because you'll figure out life pretty quick. You'll figure it out quick. There'll be times in your life where relative to health and happiness, you'll figure it out quickly. Your curiosity will be to keep getting better, your desire to get better. So once you're aware of what you want, create and appreciate it, then whatever is the situation, whether it be physical health, relationship with somebody in your life, you move in an effective way that nurtures your biology, your relationship with somebody important, or your financial situation. And then when you have moved effectively to nurture your body, you might throw in a little appreciation, right? But once you've done these two, you will have peace of mind to rest. If you don't move effectively, if you don't move and effectively so relative to anything in your life, if you don't move effectively about your finances, you're not going to sleep well. If you don't move effectively relative to a relationship with somebody in your life, a family member, sad, maybe a friend, not as sad, but still sad, a coworker, you're not getting along with them. You're not going to sleep as well as you might if you were able to. if you had the ability and the habits of using those abilities to make that negative into a positive. There's the turning point. Desire, you have to desire what you want. You have to believe you can do it. And then you go out and you live it and you create it. This is the second level. And then the habitat, not going to cover that today. I'll cover that in another video, but it's amazing and incredible, right? So your first level, need and desire. The base level. The base level is need and desire, balancing need with desire, aligning your desires to line up with your needs. That's the way you enjoy the best life possible. Otherwise, you don't, right? And this is engaging, aware, create, and appreciate, which can turn into movement in a nurturing way to what you need, right? Effectively, and then appreciate it. And then if you find out there's a negative in your life, listen, this says positive effects on health and happiness. With this said negative effects on life because you haven't been taking care of your body instead of the spirit, right? All of a sudden, you need desire. Being curious about something that is causing your pain and curious about the cause of healing the pain is a positive force inside of your body. One of the very core fundamental forces inside of you, desire inside of you, is curiosity. It's how you acquire knowledge. You be curious and you go out and you find out about it. You see, if you turn off your antenna, instead of looking for anything, you're just going around in your life without paying attention. You're ignoring everything and you're neglecting it because that's what you've learned in your life. I was that way for most of my life, much of it, not all of it, but much of it. And so when all of a sudden you realize that if you engage your brain to pay attention and adapt at the best level you can possibly find, imitate, and execute, that's when your life improves. And that's what this will help you do. So desire, become curious. You start moving your way that way, you start to believe it. Yeah, I can do it. I can see I can do it. I'm not good enough yet, but I will be. You start practicing, you start living, and then you expect it to happen. Now, by the way, in the meditative state, which I highly recommend you engage at least 30 minutes a day, at least at the start. 10 minutes in the morning, not enough. You need more. If you can only do 10, that's fine. But I guarantee if you do it at night before you go to bed and after lunch, when you're a little tired, that's when you can relax and move your thoughts in an effective way. And if your body, though, key point, if your body is tired because food is going to your stomach because you eat a little bit more than you could, which again, I've done all the goofy, dumb things, right? I've mastered all of those, not all of them, but a lot of them. So, but when that happens, what I used to do was resist it, What you can do is breathe, relax, and allow the blood to go to your stomach. If you do that for 3, 4, 5 minutes, guess what? The blood getting to your tummy has got your food being processed. If you didn't eat too much, just a little bit too much, you'll get that blood down there. It'll start processing the food, and all of a sudden you'll have more blood free for your brain. So after lunch, relax 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then spend 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes thinking about what you want in your life effectively. Augmented reality goggles would help you do that better, by the way, because you probably wouldn't want to use virtual reality goggles if you're at work at lunch, right? So you have the fundamentals of creating what you want. Here's the effects of what this has on you, like if you're taking care of your body. In this case, your spirit, which means to love and accept everything in your life and don't judge and hate anything. That's the big one. When you take care of your life in the most effective way, you free yourself from hate and anger and neglecting your finances or neglecting a relationship with somebody or your health. You experience negative and your spiritual happiness will be less. But when you take care of everything in your life, your spirit will be happy. You'll be able to love. and you're frustrated and angry because you've been neglecting your life because that's what your life has taught you to do, you're going to have some judgment and hate and negativity in your life. And you strengthen your brain, strengthen your mind with healthy habits that pay attention, acquire information, and adapt to it, you'll be happier and you'll love more in life. So what's interesting is for each one of these, aware, create, appreciate, these adapt. Hecka cool, hecka cool. If you're talking about being aware, you're going to have a desire to be curious. Well, if you're creating it, right, if you're out there in your life engaging in creating what you want, you've left aware, you've engaged, create, this becomes moving effectively, right? Nurture, fulfilling need, and appreciate. Or assess how you've done and determine to keep going, right? And you move some more, you move effectively, and you assess how you done. Dang, I'm doing great. Look at me. You move effectively, and you determine, wow, look at me. I did a great job. You know what you do? You're not done. Then you move your thoughts to go, wow, this is great. I'm so happy what I did. I moved my thoughts effectively, realizing everything I've done, and that this is a moment worthy of appreciation, right? So these change for each one. Aware 3 steps are different than create 3 steps, and appreciate are a different set of 3. And there's always 3. This is what's amazing about this powerful number 3. It's out in nature. It's in the universe. If you study the universe beyond human experience, you'll see 3. It's everywhere. There's always a start, a middle, and an end. There's always something moving and affecting something else. And then you realize how it affects you. Or there's time and space, objects moving around in it. How does it affect me? If you're a scientist and it doesn't affect you, you're saying there's time and space here. Objects are moving around in cause and effect cycles. How does it affect the object of my study? It might be how to teach other people how to understand the environment or the economy, right? So this 3 applies to being a human being, but also just somebody that wants to know the truth, record it, and share it with other people who are scientists, right? Actually, the people that do that are scientists, but other scientists will be curious too. Scientists are often very curious, and being curious is a very good thing to do. Well, mostly when it impacts your happiness, right? That's what's most important. All right. Now, that's the second level, right? Changing a negative into a positive. You engage a subset of 3 for each of the fundamental 3. But now the invention goes wildly crazily. You're kidding me. We even have more information. How about if you look at a behavior, right? You identify a self-talk, and then you identify the behavior that's happening when the thought is happening. Well, you see, thinking the thought that might be in addition to the activity. Maybe you have a self-talk happening, an extra self-talk habit that's beyond what you're doing because you're just driving your car in low traffic slowly. You got some self-talk going. Well, if it's negative self-talk, if it's worry about your finances, it's going to negatively impact your body because it's chronic stress. If it's negative about an argument you had with somebody who you're angry at, that stress is going to be weaken your immune system because you're chronically stressed when it doesn't serve you. Now, if you get up and move around your body strenuously, it'll strengthen your immune system. But to be nervous because you're not taking care of your life, because you're ignoring and neglecting your life, that is when stress can weaken your health. Doesn't mean you're going to get sick, but you're going to be sickly at least. If you also eat poor diet, yep, you're going to get sick, right? Unless you have supersonic body. Somebody could have supersonic body and not get sick, but I'm not one of those people. And most of us aren't, right? So the third level is amazing, right? The third level, you are identifying the behavior that is associated with the self-talk habit that might be interfering with you being aware of what you want and going out and creating it, and then appreciating every step along the way. You're distracted by a self-talk habit that's happening because the behavior is not consuming all of your intellectual capacity. And so the self-talk habit is damaging your happiness. This is powerful stuff. When you do this to your life, to every moment of life, every moment, I mean, why miss out on any of them? Go after the big ones first. Go after the big ones when you're angry and hateful and afraid and stressed, or when you're fearful and procrastinating because of your fear, right? Those are the big ones to go after. But eventually, do every moment of your life. Free yourself from negative experience, even neutral. Why accept something mediocre when your brain has the potential to create something amazing almost everywhere? And even if the experience is just pretty good, right? It's pretty good. I mean, there's no doubt, right? When you learn to appreciate it with strength, right? When you learn to appreciate, when you have the wisdom to appreciate your strength and your skill and your knowledge, excuse me, your strength and your skill and your speed and your endurance, right? And your wisdom and your knowledge. All of a sudden, an average experience in your life will be amazing because you have the wisdom to appreciate the fact that you're doing a good job. These are the boxes that I believe will help you improve your life. I hope you find them useful. I hope you go and subscribe. Please go and subscribe. If you're an investor, please contact me. Let's talk about investment options for you. And let's make the world a better place by starting with your life. I love you. Take care. Please come back.